Hi, this is Kavita Valalkar Patil from Akar Education Solutions. As we have promised, we have started with our YouTube series where we are going to invite various eminent people from different sector. So today's our first guest is Sandesh Patil from hospitality sector. In his initial years, he has worked with Taj Group of Hotels. When he decided to go abroad in Kuwait, he worked with Kharafi Global Company as a country manager. Wow, taking care of four chain of restaurants. After coming back to India, he decided to work with Mass Consultant as one of the consultant. So we have here Sandesh Patil, who's going to guide us in this area. Sandesh, thanks for joining us here today. हमारा क्वेश्चन ये है संदेश नॉर्मली जब करियर काउंसलिंग के लिए बच्चे हमारे पास आते हैं सो दे हैव काइंड ऑफ सेइंग दैट वी लव कुकिंग and we love that going to hotels and enjoying that ambience, and that's why we want to go to hotel, want to take the hotel industry as their career. So what do you suggest for that?
Well, firstly, thank you for having me here. It is a great pleasure, and I wish you all the very best in your this new YouTube series that you have started. I hope you a lot more success in your venture. As far as your question goes, well, that is one of the first ways that people are interested in this, who get interested in this particular line of work, which is the hospitality industry. And that is a good way to start. However, that is not just cooking and I mean what you look at when you go to a restaurant and what you do when you work in it every day or in a hotel every day is basically a totally different ball game. Okay, so when people, there are a lot of people who enter the hotel industry, but there aren't so many people who go on to finish it in the hotel industry itself. Okay, so the hospitality industry is basically a very there are like every industry, I'm sure everybody knows there are lots of pros and there are lots of cons that are there. But one thing I can tell you, this is a great place to be in. There is it's a very glamorous industry. There are lots of things that you can see and do, and you can travel and you can meet lots of people, and there is a new experience every day and every time that you're working. It's never the same, everything is, every time you go out, every day is different. So in that way, this is very, very nice. That is the allure, you can say. So it is not just hotels, you can have 5-star hotels. So people want to, you can meet, I've met every film star there was when I was at Taj. I've met every industrialist at the time. And I have traveled a lot, like from Kuwait to Spain to US for work. So there have been lots of instances where, so all of those things are good. If you join the airline industry, then you travel every day. If you join shipping, then you can see, you can basically see the world, when you're at company's costs. Correct. You don't have to pay to see the world. Wherever the ship goes, you can see everything. So which other industry can you travel and and earn at the same time and travel at the cost of the company at a very young age, as soon as you're out of college or maybe a couple of years down the line? So that is the allure. But at the same time, I should caution you that more the allure more is the hard work that is involved. All right, so
Very true.
you have to look, if you look at, when you are saying that when you go out to restaurants and you like to cook and you like all of these things, you have to understand that you go out on a Saturday or Sunday mostly. So when you go out on weekends, when you go out on Christmas, when you go out on New Year's, that is the time when the hospitality industry is the most busiest. So if you are in the hospitality industry, you are going to work when the world is going to party. Correct. So if I mean to on the face of it, it looks fine, it looks okay, but you have to be prepared for it, day in and day out, year in and year out. You could be starting out, when you're starting out, every weekend, every Christmas, every Eid, every New Year, you are going to be working the hardest, and your friends, if they are not from the industry, they are going to be partying the hardest. Correct. So when the entire world has got a holiday on Saturday, Sunday, you are going to be really, really busy. If you graduate to become the manager, same thing. If tomorrow you open up your own restaurant, your own business, your own catering, it is going to be exactly the same. So no
So
matter.
I have a question here, Sandesh, for you. So once they complete their hotel industry, hotel management course. So let me tell you, everyone here who are new to our channel, this course starts after your 12th. You can be from any stream. You complete your 12th, and you have to give your entrance, and then you get to the hotel management colleges.
Yeah, so
So now,
I just want to add over here, one of the best colleges probably right now would be the IHMs. So I mean, I am myself, not just because I am from IHM Bombay, but uh, IHM, the if you look at it, I think there are one IHM every state, and if you want to get in, your aim should be to get into an IHM, and the top ranked IHMs would be better. So it's always a race between Bombay and Delhi, which is first and which is second. I'm not sure who is first now, but either one of those two, and you have very the maximum chances of landing a good job. Of course, this COVID is created a small problem in the industry. Not a small problem, it's been a good problem, but I hope that it passes out soon and things get back to normal.
yes, we all are hoping for the same. Sandesh, can you give us a little light on, what these students can do once they complete their hotel management? Which are the areas open to them? Because
Okay,
I
so
heard that, some of them wants to go for, there are only two things that they are focusing on. One is the chef and one is management, manager as a manager. So is there anything else that they can think about
yes.
along with these two?
Yeah, so as far as hotel management is concerned, when you're doing your degree program, there are four, you can say, major sections of where you can specialize in, or which you can take as your career once you pass out. Two, which you rightly said, one would be we call it F&B production. So F&B production is basically the kitchen side of it. So if you want to make a career in the kitchen, then you choose F&B production as your major or as your specialty in your last year, and you go on to become a chef. The what you aim for once you become once you choose F&B production is to go on to become an executive chef of a hotel or a chain of restaurants or in a ship, or I mean wherever you want to, whatever you choose. The second, like you said, management side. So that is called one part of the management side is F&B F&B service. So the F&B service is the front of the house. So when you're going to restaurants or banquets or anything, so this the service aspect, the managing of the service aspect, the planning that goes into it, and the entire part of the service aspect, that comes under F&B service. So once you join F&B service, you go on to become a management trainee or an assistant manager in hotels or restaurants, and the path leads to a general manager in a hotel, and further so don't get me wrong, a general manager uh, is probably on par with the executive chef. So in some cases, executive chefs are much higher than general managers. Also, it is not so. It does not that you might have a misconception that if I become a chef, I will not become a GM. That is not the case. You have some excellent chefs who are much more valued, and they stick with properties. So Chef Ananda Solomon, for example, whom I worked under
Oh,
in Taj, and Chef Oberoi from Taj. So I'm talking about Taj because I know about Taj. Okay, and other properties also. As far as then the other two majors are housekeeping. As a housekeeping would basically consider not just cleanliness but everything to do majorly with that and keeping the house in order. Everything that is related to keeping everything properly in shape as far as the guest areas are concerned. So that could be banquet, that could be rooms, that could be uh, restaurants, but everything related to the front of the house area. So keeping everything spick and span, and they work closely in relation with the engineering department or with the maintenance department to make sure that everything is proper. The fourth, so if you join housekeeping, then your path leads to you to be an executive housekeeper. So executive housekeeper and F&B manager, these are all on the same level, you can say. And the fourth department is front office operations. So the front office operations will have not only will have reservations, would have the front office desk. They would have back end areas. They would also have a little bit of auditing, and they also have to a certain extent the security of the hotel under them. So you join front office, you join the front office department, then your path leads on to become duty manager and then a front office manager. So a front office manager and executive chef, executive housekeeper, and F&B manager. So these are your top level guys in any hotel. Then they go on to become GMs and further ahead down the road.
Oh,
Other than this, you can also get into sales and marketing. That is a tertiary area, but people who join an IHM or something will not generally go into an sales and marketing. You can also get into purchasing department, which is also a tertiary area, but a very, very important part also. I have a couple of friends who have later on gone on to become corporate heads of purchasing, of the purchasing departments for hotels. So yeah, so these are basically how these are the these things that you can choose once you get out.
that, that's that's really great. You have actually given us a detailed information about your the hospitality industry, which is I believe it's very important. When the students are willing to go for hospitality industry, they should be knowing about these areas, what exactly they can do once they go into this. So, what do you think? A child or a participant or the students who wants to go for the hotel industry. So, what exactly mindset they have to prepare for?
Well, like
Because yeah,
yeah,
uh, yes, yeah, you can continue.
yeah. So, like I said in the beginning, there are two things. The most important thing that anybody who gets into hotel industry has to he has to be sure is, see, first is that he has to work really, really hard. Okay, there are long hours, there are odd hours, and there are definitely weekends when you will not be getting a holiday. All right.
Very important.
Very important. And the hours are long. Okay, when you start off, the pay might not be very great. Okay, see, in an IHM, you have to understand that from an IHM perspective or whatever, you are finishing your degree after your 12th. Okay, this is not a place where to start off with, you require a master's degree. Okay, a bachelor's degree would get you, will depending on your capabilities or how you do in interviews, you would get either a management trainee or an operations trainee or something equivalent. Okay, that is not an issue. So that is those are starting managerial or starting positions in the management cadre, you could say. All right, so that is the place from where you start your journey, and you start your journey very young. That is a very big plus point. But at the same time, you cannot expect very high salaries or excellent remunerations when you start off. At the same time, there is a very, very you have to I stress on this point. There is going to be really big long working hours and very, very, very you have to put in a lot of effort. All right, like I say to people, that if you want to do good in any of your or any of your chosen path, you have to really work hard for at least 10 years. Then you reach somewhere. This is the same with the hotel industry also. All right, the only thing is that you have to work really hard for 10 years. Okay, you have to put in a lot of effort. If you stick by it for 10 years, you are going to do really well. I can guarantee it.
So,
So that is why, and especially people who, like you said in the beginning, I like to cook and I want to enter. So you understand this, you are going to cook 8 9 hours a day, or if it is not
oh,
actually cooking, it is something related to cooking. for 8 to 9 hours every day, which is, cooking on a weekend or cooking one or two dal sabji and an hour or two a day is a different story than cooking 8 9 hours every day in the heat with a lot of pressure. Okay, there's a huge amount of pressure on in the kitchen. If you probably get the opportunity, you should interview a chef as well, is my recommendation. So he can give you a complete insight of how a commercial kitchen works.
Okay,
So
there is one question here, Sandesh. Uh, I just normally, when I had a discussion with them, when we try to, guide them for the hotel industry or the hospitality industry, normally they believe that, once they complete their graduation, masters, and all, so they will get an kind of, opportunity where they will start cooking the dishes, or, start away taking as a managerial post. So is that happening in reality, or the scenario is little different?
no, 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 no. Once you pass out of a hotel management career with the after you become a graduate and come out, you are not going to start cooking anything, and you are not going to be a manager. Okay, so once you get out of college, there is if you join a hotel or if you join a restaurant or chain of restaurant, there's going to be a training period. And this training period lasts, as far as I know, a minimum of 2 years. Right? So even if you
Oh,
join as a chef, or even if you join as a, so like I said, so you join as a trainee in a hotel. Okay, so when I joined the Taj Group of Hotels, I was a management trainee for 2 years, which is after that you get your confirmation. So the same thing with the kitchen. So after that, so there are in chefs you have different levels of chefs, so sous chef, CDP. So you join as this thing, you join as a trainee, and after confirmation of 2 years, if your training program is done, then you go on to become a chef de partie. So when you become a chef de partie, that is the time when you get your scarf, and that is the time when you can actually start cooking. All right, of course, you do all of those things in the first 2 years, but you actually become a chef 2 years after you finish your training period, if you finish your training period successfully. Okay, so and those 2 years are going to be really, really, you're going to learn a huge amount. There's going to be a huge amount of learning, but there's going to be a huge amount of long hours as well, and definitely you have to put in a lot of hard work. So if you are really, really interested and you really have the passion for it, go ahead. You will reach huge heights. Okay, but uh, if you are not willing to put in the hard work, then you should try something different.
thank you, Sandesh. It's been amazing. I could see that throughout this interview, you are continuously saying huge amount of hard works, and you have to put in the effort. So guys, there, please remember that, because he has underlined it in every, now and then. That is something we need to understand. It's what it looks from the outside, it's not what it is inside. If you want to reach that success, you have to be sure that you're ready to work day and night, and then the success is all yours. So thanks, Sandesh, for joining us today with Akar Education Solution. Next video will be on architecture as a career. So thank you. Stay tuned with us. Bye.
Thank you for having me. Bye bye.